Ladies and gentlemen, I am joined by the man from down under, Mayhem, Jason Moloney. How are you, my friend?
Very well, mate. Very well. Good to speak to you again.
Yeah, you too, man. So you've just touched down in Vegas. That's correct?
Yeah, that's it, mate. We got here yesterday. Put in a run as soon as we got here. Had a good night's sleep, and then had training again this morning. And we've just went and got our first COVID test, so that we can all get our negative results and get into the gym on Monday.
Fingers and toes crossed, my friend. Okay, let's talk about journeys. You've come a long way to get to Las Vegas. You've come from near the Gold Coast, near the border of Queensland and New South Wales, yeah?
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
Tell me about your journey. Tell me about it.
Well, yeah, it's a long way from Australia to Las Vegas, mate. So it's a long process, but I live on the border of New South Wales and Queensland.
Yeah.
We went up to Brisbane, and we flew down to Sydney. We had to stay a night overnight in Sydney, and then we flew.
Yeah.
Sorry?
That's kind of nice, though. You can kind of break it up, yeah?
Yeah, it is all right.
Yeah.
Breaks it up a bit. So, stayed overnight in Sydney, then flew San Francisco, couple of hours stop over there, and then Las Vegas. So, it's a long trip, but we're here now, mate. We're here now. That's all that matters.
So you've done it a couple of times, because when I flew to Australia many moons ago, I felt really weird for a couple of days. Really weird. Yeah, I felt really strange, man. You've done that trip a couple of times, so you seem pretty cool. You said you went for a run as soon as you got there. Tony sent me a video of you all working out with the boys. No problems. You're just cool, yeah. You're just chilling. You're quite happy.
Mate, I don't really seem to get jet lag. I've never really been too affected from it, which I guess is good, especially when you're an Australian and you're signed to a promotional company in America. You want to hope that jet lag doesn't affect you too much. So it doesn't seem to affect me. We trained as soon as we got here, and then obviously just wanted to get our body clock right. So we were a bit tired yesterday, but we stayed up. And then had a good night's sleep last night, and I feel already like I'm adjusted already. But that's why we come over here nice and early. I've got a month to really get the body set nice, and get the body clock set nice and perfect for to make sure I peak on fight night. But I feel fantastic. I could fight tomorrow, and I would be perfectly ready to go. So another month over here to settle in, put in some good hard work, get some good sparring, and make sure I get in that ring in the best possible shape of my life, and ready to achieve something very special.
Yeah, I hope so, mate. Naoya Inoue is who you will be facing. We're going to come back to the man from Japan. Las Vegas, you've been there. This is your second light trip, quite quick space of time as well. Are you turning this place into like a bit of a second home? Have you got things set up a bit quicker there, second time round?
It is like a second home, mate. I said as soon as we landed and we were driving from the airport to our house where we're staying, I said it feels like a second home. It feels like we were here yesterday. Like from when we left in June to now, it felt just like deja vu, like driving down the streets, everything's so familiar. I really like it over here as well. I'm really comfortable over here. I love training over here, and as soon as we landed, everything just felt really good. Everything's familiar, comfortable, and as soon as you land, I guess everything just feels that little bit more real. That fight you've been training for so long. Once you actually get to America, it feels like, all right, now it's we're here, it's happening, and you get that extra bit of excitement. Everything just feels like, all right, it's go time.
Yeah, you're grinning, man. You're grinning from ear to ear, I can see. What's it like, coronavirus vibe there? Is there restrictions? I remember last time you went, it was a little bit crazy when you were there. Has it chilled down a bit?
Well, we haven't really been out to see much.
You just went for a
Um,
run, yeah?
yeah, went for a run, and then we just trained at the house this morning. So yeah, we only just left before to go and get the COVID test.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, you got to wear your mask everywhere you go. Most shops and restaurants and that, you know, like you can go in, but there's no sitting in the restaurants or anything like that, it seems. So yeah, I mean, there's still lots of different strict measures in place, but you know, we are putting our own strict measures on ourselves. You know, like the last thing any of us want to do is put ourselves at risk. We're obviously going to be tested quite a lot before this fight, and the last thing we want to do is come all the way here and for the fight to be called off. So we've got to be very strict on ourselves, and we will be. You know, we'll make sure we stay nice and safe and don't put ourselves at any unnecessary risk, because we've got to make sure we get in that ring and bring these world titles back to Australia.
Yeah, hope so. Hope so. It's funny, we spoke about this last time, actually. You were saying you're almost in that sort of zone anyway, from cutting yourself off from everyone to knuckle down on the final 4 weeks of your camp, which are, you know, like the most vital of any. So yeah, we did touch on that last time. So you've obviously got the same mindset as that. I saw in the video you got your brother there, obviously. You've got Andres Campos, who I've interviewed actually. Check it out, anyone watching on Pro Boxing Fans. Chilean something, yeah, Chilean fighter.
He's Chilean, yeah.
And who else you've got? Vegas
Larfield, who's a young up-and-comer from Australia as well.
That's a cool name.
So yeah, it's good to have both those boys here with me to help me out and
nice.
give me some good rounds of sparring. It's you know, it's good to have someone that you've got. We've also got other sparring organised as well. We've got a guy from Philadelphia flying in tomorrow and a few other local guys from Las Vegas. So we've got some really good sparring, but it's good to have, you know, these guys that are staying with us. They're, you know, mates of ours, but they also, we've had them studying Inoue for the last month or so. They're watching a lot of footage. They're both roughly the same height as Inoue. And yeah, we've been telling them, get to work. Your homework is to watch as much Inoue as you possibly can. And when they get in the ring to spar me, I want them replicating Inoue as much as they possibly can. And I want them to jump in and give me 4 rounds each where they're going for it and trying to be like Inoue and being as explosive and fast as they can and throwing the shots that Inoue throws. And, you know, having that relationship with these guys where I can tell them what I want them to do. You know, they're gonna try and bring the best out of me. And then obviously we've got other guys here that will, you know, test me in other areas as well. But having these guys that are basically trying to be two Inoues, staying with us and sparring 3 times a week, it's going to be really helpful. Yeah,
wow, that's an amazing insight into your camp, man. Wow, that's fascinating stuff. Really is. So yeah, obviously Andres Campos, you've had with you in your previous camp as well, I believe. And you worked with him when you went out to Chile, but it wasn't you who fought in Chile, it was Andrew. I am correct there, yeah. So that's someone you're working with regularly. Obviously, your brother you're working with regularly. You've got those two you're sort of working with regularly. So you've got a nice mixture there of the regulars, and you've got some new guys coming in as well.
Yeah, we've got some new guys that I've never sparred before. Actually, Vegas and Andres, I haven't done heaps of sparring with either of them. I've been around and trained alongside Andres quite a few times, but going into the last fight, I had a fairly tall opponent, so I didn't do much work with Andres going into the last fight. Now that I'm fighting Inoue, who's a bit shorter, Andres is really good, you know, really well suited towards Inoue's style. So
actually,
we'll be doing plenty of work with him now. Yeah, we've got a good mix though. You know, everyone here, you can learn from everyone. That's the attitude that we have. You can learn from anyone. You're never too good. You're not a know-it-all. We're never satisfied. We always want to try and improve as much as we possibly can. And everyone that we've got is going to bring their own little mixture and, you know, add something to our game and help me in some way leading into this fight.
Sweet. Brilliant stuff. And tell me a bit about the Australian kid you got there, Vegas Larfield. You
Yeah.
his name?
Vegas Larfield. Yeah.
Yeah.
We brought Vegas
cool
to
name.
Vegas. Yeah.
Yeah. That's a wicked name. Yeah. Tell me about him.
He's a young Australian up and comer. He's only had the one pro fight, but a really extensive amateur career. He's actually been over to Vegas and fought over here in his amateur days and had a lot of experience, but we've only just started sparring him a little bit in this lead up. It was the first time I sparred him. And yeah, he had a really good style and really suited to Inoue. So we said to him after I sparred him once or twice, we said, mate, would you be willing to come to Vegas to help me finish off my preparation? Because his style is really suited. And you know, we found the rounds really useful. So yeah, he said, yeah, bloody oath, I'd love to come to Vegas and help you out. So Tony went to work and looked into whether we could get him an exemption to bring him over with us. And Tony did very well, got permission, and yeah, here he is, mate, come over here with us. So obviously a great experience for him, being a young up-and-comer, to come over here and get some good sparring and see what the boxing life is like over here and see how a future world champion prepares for a fight like this. But also he's given me great rounds as well. And not like I said, we've had him watching Inoue for the past months, and he's going to replicate his style as best he can. So he's going to be giving me great work. So yeah, really looking forward to it, and yeah, happy you could make it.
Yeah, Vegas in Vegas. There we go. Two things I wanted to touch on sparring.
Yeah.
You were talking about getting the boys to study Inoue and things like that. So you're probably looking for high intelligence, high IQ of fire to come and work with you. Yeah. Basically, that's the question. Is that what you're looking for with your sparring partners? Is that how hard do you spar as well?
Yeah, spar pretty hard, mate. We run hard and we spar hard, and that's why we're always in good shape. So basically, it's always going to be hard to find a sparring partner who's exactly like Inoue. You know, he's obviously one of the best in the world, pound for pound, for a reason. It's not easy to find guys who you can just bring in that are exactly like Inoue. But these guys are all the right height, similar height to Inoue, and they're all fast and explosive and fairly aggressive. You know, you don't want someone who's too defensive, because obviously Inoue's a guy that lets his hands go and backs himself, and you know, quite aggressive himself. So their style we found is very, very suitable. And we've got a good mix. So I'll have 3 or 4 sparring partners with me for each session. And we just want them to give me the best work they can. So we've had them study in Inoue, as I said, but also we want them to go hard. So if I'm doing 12 rounds and they want to get in and just go for it for 2 or 3 rounds, they can get out and have a rest. And make sure that I've got someone fresh coming at me for the full 12 rounds, because I need to be in the best shape of my life for this fight, and Inoue's going to be coming at me for the full 12 rounds, and I've got to be ready for the best Inoue there is, and I will be. And that's what we're ready for. That's what we're preparing for, and we're confident that we can beat him. And we're going to put in the hard work for the next month to make sure that we give ourselves the best possible chance of winning this fight.
Good man. Sounds like you're in a definitely a good place. Back to sparring thing. Obviously, you were talking about the exemption for Vegas, Oman Vegas. How has that disrupted camp in any way, or how have you overcome that hurdle? Well, what's that been like?
No, well, we're very, very fortunate that we can get over here to Las Vegas. Obviously, there's a lot of travel restrictions going on at the moment. Pretty hard to leave Australia or get into Australia. So thankfully, Tony puts in an exemption and explains the situation. And obviously, luckily enough, we're in the position that we are in because a lot of Australian fighters aren't fighting this year. They can't bring in international opponents or they can't travel overseas to fight.
Yeah,
but
I'm talking to him.
Because this is such a massive fight, Tony explains to the government, this is a world title fight for 3 belts, the biggest fight for an Australian probably this decade, and explains the situation. And luckily, the government gives us permission to travel over here. And obviously, when we get home, we have to do a 2-week quarantine in a hotel and can't leave that hotel for 14 days. And, there's a lot of different strict measures in place to allow us to travel, but that's all good. As long as we get permission to come here, and I can step in the ring and fight Inoue and fight for my chance to achieve my dreams, and then that's all that matters. So very, very grateful that we are allowed to travel. And yeah, very, very thankful that the exemption was passed and that we got permission to be here. And yeah, it's not something that's worried, held us back at all. We got permission. We asked the same. Can this sparring partner come with us to Australia? Because this is a vital part of my preparation. I need the best sparring I can for this fight. And yeah, they gave Vegas permission to travel over here as well. So everything's worked out well. Everything's fallen into place and nothing's held us back or everything's worked out how we want it to work out. So everything's going well. I'm in a great place physically and mentally and ready to go and ready to achieve my dream and become world champion.
Yeah. Well, this is massive. What's the you talk about the government being cool, getting you out there, exemptions and stuff during coronavirus time. The fans, the media, how they getting? But what's the vibe like from them at the moment? Is it supportive? Is it not? I haven't really checked. Yeah. So yeah, what's that like?
I always get great support from the people that are close around me, family, friends, everything like that. Everyone's ecstatic for me because they know that this is the fight that I've wanted for a long time, and they know how big this is for me. So yeah, great support from people close to me. Great support from most of the public and media. There's a lot of people, the online trolls, always have their say.
Oh man, even I've got them. Yeah.
I think I'm crazy. And, you're going to get knocked out, and you got no chance. And all that. I love that, mate. They make me smile, and I want to prove them wrong, and that gives me so much motivation. I'd love to keep a record. I don't, because I don't let it bother me. I've got pretty thick skin, but I'd love to keep a record and call every one of them after this fight and say, "What? Doubt me now? I just won. I'm the best in the world, and you're sitting behind a keyboard achieving nothing in your life." But I don't let these people affect me. But it just makes me laugh that people waste the time out of their day to write something negative about a guy who's flown across the world to take on the best fighter in the world, the ultimate challenge, putting it all on the line to achieve something special that he's worked his ass off for the last 17 years. And you want to try and talk me down or tell me, I'm going to get knocked out or whatever. It just makes me laugh. But I'm looking forward to proving a lot of people wrong.
Good man. You can never win, Jason, no matter.
You can't, mate. You can't.
You never win, no matter how good you are.
You take easy fights and everyone will tell you're a cherry picker or you're fighting tomato cans, and then you take on the best in the world and people still want to have a go at you. You can't win.
Yeah. Even even the best, they all get it. That brings me on to another point. I would say since you've sort of signed with Top Rank and been fighting in America, your profile's obviously got much bigger, and you're going into one of the biggest fights of the year, maybe up there. Anyway,
Yeah.
definitely up there. What's that been like? You're talking about some, like, you know, some of the online abuse. In terms of, cause I've been seeing you popping up on interviews everywhere, and I was kind of humbled. You did an interview with us. I saw you on huge platforms in America. You know, like the big A-star
None bigger than
name.
this, mate. None bigger
Yes,
than this. This is the pinnacle. This
yeah.
is the.
So what's that been like?
No, it's been good, mate. The profile's slowly growing, but there's still a lot of people that don't know who I am. So hopefully, after October 31st, the whole world will know who Jason Moloney is, and he'll be known as, without a doubt, the #1 bantamweight in the world. So this is a life-changing fight for me. You know, a win here will turn me into a superstar, and one of the, you know, the biggest names in boxing, hopefully. So this is where it all changes. This is what I've worked for my whole life, and to have this opportunity, you know I've earned the opportunity, but to have the opportunity, you know, I'm still very grateful for it. And yeah, Bob Arum even said the other day that he thinks that this could be fight of the year, and it's very exciting to hear something like that coming from a man like Bob, who obviously knows his boxing like the back of his hand. So I think it is going to be a really special fight, and these are the fights that I want to be involved in. You know,
Yeah,
growing up
yeah.
being a massive boxing fan like I am, and watching, you know, Barrera Morales and, you know, Gaddy Ward and all these, you know, amazing fights. You know, I want to be involved in fights like that, and fights that people talk about for years and years and years to come. And I feel like this could be something very special, this fight. Yeah, really, really excited. Can't wait to get in there.
Yeah. The Top Rank, your new promotional company, had a couple of, you know, the relationship's been going a little bit of time now. How's that? How's that with you? You're talking about Bob Arum saying some great things
Yeah.
about you. They're getting you. They got you they've done perfect job for you. They gave you a tough fight but winnable, and now they're giving you the biggest fight ever. It's been almost perfect during the toughest time of the recent history.
Yeah,
It looks pretty good where I'm sitting. Well, quickly, what do you think about that?
mate. The connection with Top Rank has been just amazing, mate. It
No.
could not have asked any more from them. In a year like this year, like I said, there's a lot of Australian fighters that won't fight this year. They just, you know, there's not much going on in the boxing scene in Australia. Hopefully it'll slowly pick up, but for us, luckily we're signed to Top Rank, the best and biggest promotional company in the world, and they kicked off boxing again after the pandemic. They were the ones that stepped up and got boxing going again, and we were obviously involved in that launch. And me and Andrew were both given huge opportunities to headline shows when boxing was just brought back, and that was an amazing opportunity for us. And that fight was the perfect lead up to something like this, the Inoue fight. You know, a great fight where I went into the bubble, so I've already been there and felt that atmosphere, already know how it all works. I've got a good, hard 7 rounds out against a tough Mexican who tested me, but I showed that I can lift and perform at the top level. And I put in what I thought was probably my career best performance. And even since then, I feel like I've just improved so much. And then obviously to get that win and to have the guys at Top Rank just really, really excited and happy with the performance. And then for them to go and give me this fight, the biggest fight there is in and around my division. This is the fight that I've wanted for years and years, and they've presented me with the opportunity. And now, obviously, I'm extremely grateful. But now it's up for me to go and grab this opportunity with both hands. And like I said, winning this fight will change my life. So I'm just stoked that I've got the opportunity, and I am so ready. I feel like it's just all come at the perfect time. I couldn't be more ready for this fight, and I just can't wait to get in there and achieve my dream and go on to bigger and better things. And I'm sure that the relationship between me and Top Rank is going to be something very, very special. I'm really looking forward to the future together with them. And hopefully I'll become the #1 bantamweight in the world on October 31st. And I'll keep that status and be the king of the division for the next 6, 8, 10 years, however long I want to keep boxing for. And I'll just keep it going. And yeah, the world's my oyster if I win this fight.
Certainly is. Well, Jason Moloney, it's been an absolute pleasure. I think we'll leave it there. It's been it's been a great chat, my friend.
Always, mate. Always.